Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another educational presentation for community. We have a phenomenal group coming on tonight to help educate our community about financial freedom and legacy planning. So looking forward to tonight's presentation. With that being said, we're going to jump into a couple of announcements, and then we're going to get into tonight's educational presentation. Today, information came out that Black culture sites will receive $3 million grants, money to help preserve the legacies of Black landmarks across this country. There are about 40 projects that's going to happen in 17 states, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., and one of the location sites will be the Emmett Till Funeral Ground site. These cities are preserving history for our people across the country. So shout out to the African American Culture Heritage Fund. They are going to be blessing the community with that. So community, start looking around. You're going to see these legacy and landmarks put up for our community. Phenomenal stuff happening across this country. With that being said, the Delta variant is still spreading. On Wednesday, the California Department of Public Health announced that everyone will have to use indoor masks everywhere, regardless of the vaccination status. I don't know if everyone's seen on Tuesday night, the numbers are increasing, like 200 million across the world. I know here in the Bay Area, these numbers are ticking up. I'm seeing the hospital, the intakes are happening. Community, we encourage you to go out and get the vaccination to help so we can get through this part of this process. A lot of people are still unvaccinated, and believe me, it is spreading. I am seeing the people come through the hospital. It is not looking good. We are not out of this, so we all need to do our part to please wear our masks, safe distance, as we are not done yet with this virus. With that being said, in Antioch, California, the city council has agreed to make all officers in the city of Antioch wear body cameras. They were one of the few departments that were not wearing body cameras. So the council did come to agreement. So all officers in the city of Antioch, California will be wearing body cameras. Way to go to hold law enforcement accountable. Thank you for community getting out, rallying together, and making sure that we get the true justice and make sure things that are happening with our community police that are on camera and we see what's going on so that we can stand up as community to support when things happen. With that being said, this Sunday, for our Sunday conversation at 2 p.m., We will be having a community conversation with the staff of San Francisco Juvenile Hall. This is going to be a phenomenal question. A lot of times community don't understand what's going on behind the scenes when our young people are removed from the community, incarcerated. We have some phenomenal staff that's going to come on and have a conversation this Sunday with community. I think it's going to be phenomenal. This Tuesday, we're going to have another segment of our Hidden Gem segment where we will continue to highlight our Black and brown businesses and uplift those community leaders that are doing positive things to impact our community. So looking forward to those shows. There are going to be definitely some shows you want to be a part of. You're going to hear some phenomenal conversations. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. And then upcoming here for both sides of the conversation for the month of August, all of our Sunday conversations are full board, ready to go. We still have panelist spots open. For the Sunday of 8/8, we're having a back to school conversations with the parents of the community. If you are a parent out there and you have questions, concerns, or things you want to talk about with your kids returning back to school, please join as a panelist for the August 8th conversation, the back to school conversation with our parents from the community. Doesn't matter what district you're in, what part of you at. If you're a parent and you have concerns, we want to hear it so that we make sure that our educators and our administrators hear some of the concerns and making sure that they're putting plans into place to help those questions and concerns be answered. On 8/15, we're going to be having another conversation with COVID-19 vaccination. We are looking for a couple more doctors. We're reaching out to DPH, a couple of those people that are doing the vaccination sites to come on and educate community and have a conversation with community about the vaccination. I know there's been a lot of myths, a lot of lies, a lot of different things. I know in our community there's a lot of concerns anyway, but we're hoping to get enough of the health professionals to come on and have this conversation with community and help better educate our community when we're talking about this vaccination. And then on 8/22, we're going to have a conversation about colorism. This is going to be a very important conversation. As we know, colorism happens. It's real. And we're going to break it down, the ins and outs. We're looking for some more panelists that can help facilitate this conversation. We know in our community, sometimes the darker skinned people get treated different than the light skinned people. A lot of things happen with this colorism, but we're going to have a conversation about it. I think it's going to be phenomenal. We still have room for panelists, so please go to our website and sign up if you want to be a part of that conversation. And then the last Sunday of the month, 8/29, we're going to have a conversation about drug abuse and substance abuse here in this country. It is bad. In San Francisco, we had over 700 people die from fentanyl and other opiates and different substances of that nature. So we're going to have some phenomenal leaders come on to talk about drug abuse and drug addiction, as well as some of our community led organizations and some people who've been through it and came out of it. And we're going to help encourage community because we know substance abuse is impacting our community. And then also, we want to make sure that we send our prayers out. I know a lot of people, the news is getting around in Alaska today. They had an 8.1 or 8.2 earthquake today. The damage wasn't bad, but I know there's still some people having problems with communication. And I just want to send a prayer out to all of those families. I have a lot of family and friends up in Alaska, so we hope you all doing well. I tried to reach out, wasn't able to connect with them. But that's just a good reminder for everybody in the Bay Area. We are in earthquake territory. So please be prepared. Community, families, sit down with your loved ones and let them know where you're going to meet up at. Make sure you got batteries in your radio. Make sure you have a flashlight. Let's think about these earthquakes because we are right here in prime earthquake country in California, and we never know when the big one's going to hit. So we'd rather be prepared. So let's do the proactive stuff that we need to do. Get the batteries, get the plans together, because there is a possibility that we can lose Wi-Fi and communication. So talk to your young teenage kids. Talk to the kids. If you all get separated, where you're going to meet up, what a meetup spot, and things of that nature. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up our guest tonight and let her start introducing our guest for tonight's presentation. Thank you all for joining us. If you would like to ask questions tonight, I keep telling the people out there in the community, I know people are trying to use the Facebook. If you want to get your questions answered tonight, you have to go to our Both Sides of the Conversation YouTube channel, use the live chat function. That is the only way I'm going to be able to see those questions. A lot of people was emailing me from last week saying they had comments in our Facebook. We will not be able to see those comments on live. If you want to ask the panelists any question, please go to our Both Sides of the Conversation YouTube channel and use the live chat function so that we can get your question answered while we have these phenomenal financial leaders on here to answer all the questions for community. With that being said, I'm going to bring up Miss Sandy so she can introduce her and the World Financial Group team to community as they get ready to bless us with financial information that we need in our community. With that being said, welcome to the platform, Sandy.
Hello, everyone. Hi, John Henry. I want to thank you. I'm here today with my friends in life, my business partners in life. I like to consider them as the true starlight dreamers of the community. And today, I don't know, but have you noticed that during COVID, people just don't know much about financial literacy? And I want to thank you so much, John Henry, on both sides of the conversation when you invited me back in May. And I really just shared upon the community my heart. And I want to just share a little bit of my story and my friends in life, my business partners in life. We're all going to be sharing a little bit about why we believe our company mission, No Family Left Behind, by far has been meeting the need of financial literacy in our communities, especially the Black and Brown community. But I truly believe that everyone should know financial literacy. So let me ask you, guest, there's a reason why you came on today. So I would love to challenge you to really just ask yourself, what motivated you to come on today? Was it because you're supporting a friend? Is it because you want to know a little bit more about financial literacy? Or is it because you really want to meet your dreams and your goals in life and you're just trying to find some starlight dreamers? Well, we're here for you to meet those needs. And I'm really nervous because I have to do these slides. So I'm going to do this really quick. I hope I don't fail the community in doing that. But real quick, I feel like this is my quinceañera. So I just want to thank you, Jesus. I want to thank the Lord for this opportunity to just be the voice. So here I go to share the screen.
Sandy,
Yes?
did you want to introduce all of the other panelists first, or one by one before you start the presentation?
I'm going to go and share screen because I'm not really sure. We're going to figure this out together. It's this one. Okay. All right. So community, if you're like most people, very quickly in our time together, you're going to find that this isn't just a regular webinar. I promise you, we aren't going to try to sell or pitch you anything. Our time together will completely change the way you think about your options when it comes to family and business legacy. My name again is Sandy Mancini. I like to consider myself very action. I also like to think of myself as a superhero to my family, a superhero in my office. And if you see here in the corner, I'm surrounded by my superheroes in life, my business mentors, my teachers, my leaders, and I really just believe in our company mission, no family left behind, especially when it comes to our finances. So not only am I a financial professional, but I like to consider myself a recruiter. May I ask you a quick question? Would you agree that most companies, I know by far all Fortune 500 companies like Yahoo, DHL, NASCAR, they're constantly recruiting people. Even our churches are recruiting. So I like to consider myself a recruiter to our company mission, No Family Left Behind. I'm either going to recruit you to our amazing client needs, or I'm going to say, hey, what about an opportunity to become a licensed professional in financial services? My phone number is listed here. Make sure that you give me a ring. I would love your feedback. Absolutely. Before I move on to the presentation, I definitely want to share a grateful heart, a heart of gratitude for Mr. and Mrs. Zachary Rance. What I love about this couple is I was recruited by them. I was introduced to them by their friend, their family friend. And they said, Sandy, we've got some really great information for you. And today I'm going to share a little bit of the information they shared with me back on February 11th, 2015. That's when I made a commitment to the company, No Family Left Behind. And if you look at this flyer, it's a little bit old. I don't want to boast about the income that we make in our company because it's not about that. What that money right there says, that income states, it really just says all the families that we're helping. They're currently passing over 1.2 million, nearly 1.5 million in less than a year. That just shows how much of a dire need there is here in the United States to know about financial literacy, to know the options. And if something rings a bell for you and you're like, you know what, I need more information, please, I beg you, please, whomever invited you, please call them back and just have a conversation with them. A definite golden grateful heart for John Henry, Executive Director, founder of Both Sides of the Conversation. Thank you so much to the team leaders of Both Sides of the Conversation. I truly feel like I'm living my dreams on this platform, just having this voice. I especially want to thank my cousin, Cynthia Yannicone, my friend. She's everything to me. I just want to thank you so much, Cindy. We go way back when we were like 4, 6 years old, talking about we're going to live this life of gratitude, and we're going to live this life of just being the best version of ourselves. And here we are doing that today. So thank you again. Now, a little bit about this slide. My goal with our company mission with No Family Left Behind is to defund GoFundMe. Have you had an opportunity lately to just go into the GoFundMe page? If you type in bankruptcy, medical bills, funeral services, for each one, you'll see up to 1 million or over 1 million families begging for money. And you know what? It really upsets me because they shouldn't have to be asking for money if they knew their options, if they understood financial literacy. So let me ask one more time. How many of us had the opportunity to learn about financial literacy in school? How about in college? How about in universities? Where are we learning this? Nobody's learning this. And that's what really gets us fired up in our company, and why we're here today is to share that there's options to avoid GoFundMe, to avoid heartache, to avoid financial crisis. Now, coming up, true Starlight Dreamers, I'm going to speak a little bit about my personal story with income protection. Sir Kenneth Cordier is going to share on retirement. Cynthia Yannicone will be sharing on children's life plans. And my dearest friend, Miss Musetta Jones, will be talking about multiple lines of income. Bottom line, friends, when it comes to money, these are the 4 options that most people are talking about at your kitchen table, at the coffee shop, especially now that we're coming out of quarantine, we're coming out of COVID-19. People are wanting to know, how can I protect my money? How can I protect my job? How can I protect my family? I don't know, but the last time you were at Walmart and Target, are you seeing that the workers are getting older and older? Sir Kenneth is going to talk a little bit and give you a little bit of enlightenment to retirement of the old days and the retirement of today and the future. And Cindy, who's been here several times since January of this year, will talk a little bit about her story on how she's building a generational agency. She's going to be building not here for the present, but for the future with her family. And I'm excited about that. And Miss Jones, oh man, I can't wait for her to just close us out. She's fired up. No Family Left Behind. And Crew Sandy, the superhero, in my heart, always says financial literacy saves lives. So I hope today that this message that we share today will save 1 life, 10 lives, 100, thousands upon thousands of lives today. That is my hope, and I thank you again. Now, get your notepad and pen ready, and throughout this presentation, we encourage you that if a bubble pops up with someone's name, just write their name down. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why that person's name came into your mindset. And then for the person who invited you, just have a conversation. Say, you know what? My brother came to mind. Kenneth, this is a situation. What can your company do, right? Or maybe it was your spouse or your coworker, and like, you can call Cynthia, you can call Muzetta, or you can call myself. Our numbers are listed here on both sides of the conversation, so please note that down as well. Thank you. Now, gonna have you watch this video. It's a 2.5-minute video. It talks about life insurance with living benefits. I think it's important that I don't want to just share the story, but I also want to give you a taste of one of our products, one of our services. When I saw this video in February of 2015, it just made everything make sense. It made all the puzzle pieces fit in my picture of my world. So take your pen, write some notes down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the next slide, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to merge both the concept and my story to save a life. Here we go.
If you're familiar with life insurance, you probably know what a death benefit is. But have you heard of living benefits? In short, they provide valuable access for the living by accelerating a portion of the life insurance policy's death benefit, provided certain conditions are met. As lifespans continue to improve, living benefit riders could become even more important. Let's say you get in a bad accident or get really sick and survive. A traditional death benefit wouldn't help there, but living benefit riders could. They provide early access to your policy's death benefit when you have a qualifying condition, which could help you preserve emergency savings, money set aside for your kids' education, and more. Keep in mind, medical costs are the #1 reason people file for bankruptcy and are responsible for
Well, I think we lost Sandy. We'll see if we can get her back on here. She might have lost her Wi-Fi. Hang in there. We'll try to get Sandy back on. Sometimes we have these Wi-Fi issues. As you know, while we waiting here, we could talk about that. I know yesterday the U.S. Senate, they worked together to pass a bill. I know it's not the bill that was asked for infrastructure, but definitely the bill was passed. So there's infrastructure that's going to start beginning in this country. And hopefully Wi-Fi and fiber optics is one of the things that we will be getting done. And here's Sandy coming back in now.
It's all good, friend.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. I love going live. So we're going to figure it out. I'm not going to finish the video. If you want a copy of the video, I'm going to try to get it on the link here. We can listen to the video. I'm going to go straight into my story. I'm hoping that you were able to pick up a little bit about the video. Yes? All right. Let's push this share button. All right, friends. Thank you for being patient with me here. And okay, how do we do this? We'll go here, I guess. Everything's a learning experience, I tell you. So we're gonna go to Google Slides, and I'm gonna pull up my slides again. Thank you so much for being patient. We got this. Open. All righty, almost there. If you know anyone who is a master at IT video audio, I need help. Please call me. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go straight over to here. This video is definitely, I believe, very golden, but we're gonna go right here. So in the video, it talks about term with living benefits, having a life insurance policy and being able to access a portion of the death benefit if you were to ever be diagnosed with a chronic, critical, or terminal illness. Now, I don't know if you knew this about my story, but I was diagnosed with all three before age 40. My daughter in the middle, Brianna, at the time was a senior at Washington High School of San Francisco when I was diagnosed with all three. Because no one educated me properly about setting up income protection, I'm speaking today on income protection, I had to go through a financial crisis. GoFundMe wasn't really up and popping back in 2010 when I was diagnosed with all three. And my daughter actually quit her senior year to help me raise my two younger children up here on the upper right. And I really just wanted to share who I was. And I did everything I could possibly do to come to where I'm at today. My story ends up amazing. And I know it's because I have the support of my church. I have the support of my company, my leaders, Ed Milet at my company. I also have the support of my 10X family with DOG and Madrina Elena Cardone. And throughout these first 5 years of rehabilitating from a serious injury, it took about 6-7 years to recover today to be able to share with you this journey. I wish somebody would have told me the correct amount of money to save. Growing up, my father's table was surrounded with business owners. And at the time, the traditional brokers really didn't pay much mind to me because they always said, Sandy, you're the oldest. You're going to get married. If anything happens, your husband or your dad will take good care of you, which is true. They did take good care of me. But there comes a point when you run out of money that families start arguing. And that's kind of what was happening. It was a lot of stress happening because nobody knew what to do with me. We didn't even know if I was going to be alive. Let's just keep it real. Like everybody was stressed out because of my company. When I finally came and I was introduced to this company in 2015, the videos, the books, the mentorship, the leadership, it just started making sense. But where I finally just had like this amazing enlightenment was at the convention of 2015. Because you see, back in 2001, before my injury, I had a big dream. I had a big vision that God is going to use this vessel, that God's going to use this body to become super wealthy so that I could go back into the community and buy multi-family homes, to buy land, to give back to those that have less than I do. And when I got injured, those dreams kind of was put on the back burner. But I just thank my Father who's in heaven today. I thank my Papa who's in heaven today that said, Sandy, this injury, these diagnoses they give you don't mean anything. If you have faith and if you believe with all your heart that Casa Estrella International can happen, God will make a way. So when I saw the convention in 2015 in my company, Ed Milet was speaking, Grant Cardone was speaking. They were both speaking on this stage. I was in Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone. If you don't know them, go look them up. I was in their ear in 2010 when the hospital said I would never walk again, when the hospital said I would never work again, when the hospital said all this stuff. I was Instagramming them. I was sending them messages. One day, Casa Estrella International, you're going to remember me. And then when I was introduced to my company with financial services and I saw Ed Milet, it just made sense. It gave hope to my children that the promise I made to you in 2012, 2 years after my injury, when I was waking back up into this world that we call America, that I was going to do whatever it takes. So yes, it's true. It takes a village to raise me. And I'm so grateful that my true Starlight Dreamers are here today to share their story as well. So again, this message, I hope, saves lives. I really do hope that from the bottom of my heart. And let's go to the next slide. Oh, awesome. So that's pretty much it for me in terms of income protection. I'm sorry about that technical issue. It would probably make more sense. But again, my message today is we all need financial literacy. There's probably 8 out of 10 people currently right now that have no clue how their income is protected, or if it's even protected, or if it's the right amount. And I'm introducing my brother, my business partner in life, Sir Kenneth Cordier. He's going to be talking about retirement options and the kingdom building that he's doing for his family. And what I really love about Sir Kenneth, just to put it out there, in our company, we really are a family. And I've never come across a financial company, a financial service company that truly bonds like brothers and sisters. During those first couple of years, and even today, whenever I was feeling some kind of way, speaking to myself, like not in a way that I should be speaking to myself, I would say, Brother Ken, help me out. What should I do? And he'd always say, join, don't quit. Join, don't quit. So Brother Ken, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. And that's it for me. And let's see, how do I get out of here? Okay. Stop. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Brother Ken, I'm going to do the slides for you. And you're on. So let me pull up Brother Ken's slide. Thank you, everyone, for being so patient with us.
Go ahead, Brother Ken, if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'll just go ahead. I'll just start out right now. First of all, I want to say, Sandy, thank you for the kind words. And let me just say a few things about Sandy. She's always been someone that I could speak to and we could connect. I am a man of God, and we had many talks on our faith. And that's one of the founding blocks in my life. Also, I'd like to thank John Henry here for this platform. This is a critical platform because it's getting information out to the Black and brown community that you would never have gotten if not for this platform and for WFG. WFG made a decision a couple of decades ago that they were going to give information to the working class that the wealthy, only the wealthy receive. So a shout out to WFG because it really truly is a company that is not the commission is not the first item. The first item is helping folks, everyday working folks, learn how to manage their money, learn the full options so that can change their lives, change children's lives, and change their children's lives. Give you a little background on me. I worked 42 years in the construction trade. I was a journeyman glazier by trade. I worked on many of the high rises in San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, few in Sacramento, all over the Bay Area. I've been on those high rises and made a good living, made a very good living, to the point that I figured that I was really in good shape. Only to find out that what I thought was really good was right on the borderline of a catastrophe. One bad incident, and my wife, my family, my kids, we all could have been wound out on the street. To show you how it was, I worked in the construction trade 1987 to 1994. All the new construction in the Bay Area stopped. I worked with a company that had 162 glaziers working for them. And they went from 162 glaziers working for them to 12. The rest of us had to go to the union hall and hope that we'd get called to go on to work if we couldn't find work on our own. So for 4 years, I did everything. If it paid, I did it. There's only one thing I asked for. I prayed that as long as I'm healthy and I can work, I told the Father above, I will do whatever it takes so I can work and bring money into the house. And my wife had an excellent job, and she's an excellent mother, excellent wife, and a great human being. between the two of us, we never missed a beat. We paid the mortgage. Our kids went to Catholic school. We was able to meet that obligation, and all our bills were paid on time. And I contribute that to the grace of God, because from 1987 to this present day, I haven't had 2 days of sickness since that time. But I also say that prayer every night. Give me my health and I'll do the rest. Now, retirement. One of the professions that I love, because as I was going to school, I got an excellent education and I had excellent teachers. And I love my teachers. The good teachers, you notice the good teachers, there's two teachers you remember. The really good teachers and the really bad teachers. You remember their names. I kept my concentration on the good teachers because they made learning fun. You look forward to going to their class because they taught with enthusiasm. And so I got a really good education that schools provided, but I didn't get a good education in financial literacy. Fast forward, come to WFG. How did I get WFG? By an invite. Now, I'll give you a short story. 2 days before I went to the WFG business webinar, I went to Wells Fargo's bank, talked to a financial advisor, because my oldest daughter had blessed me with 2 grandsons. And I wanted to do something, put in place monies, started when they were babies, so that when college come along, they would have money where money for college wouldn't be a problem. But in the process, the next 2 days later, I go to a WFG meeting and I talk to a gentleman by the name of Dr. Kwande, Martin Kwande. And he sat down and talked to me about financial options. And he spoke on a product that I had never heard of before. And it completely just blew my mind, and he could tell by my expression on my face, is everything okay, Mr. Cordier? I said, it is. I said, but 2 days ago, I talked to a financial advisor at Wells Fargo Bank, and none of this, what you were saying, was ever brought up. And he said, well, don't blame the financial advisor. They only can instruct you in what they know and understand. If they don't know it, they can't tell you. And anyway, the strategies that WFG offers to teach for free, only the wealthy know it and take full advantage of it. Just one other good example is the Rockefeller family. Everybody know about the Rockefellers. Senior Rockefeller, before he died, he had put together what's called the financial bank. And it was several $100 million that started that family bank. Today, August 29th, 2021, that bank account that he started about 100 years ago is worth $10 billion and have financed the Rockefeller families for 7 generations. 7 generations have benefited from what he did almost 100 years ago. That is what we want to teach the Black and brown community. There are options out there that you do not know about, but we do. And we're dying to share this information with you. We're dying to share it with you. Now, one of my heroes in life, because I've listened to this man talk for many decades, is Mr. Buffett, Mr. Warren Buffett. I used to go and see Warren Buffett when he was a very young man. But one rule that he says, rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Now, there's a lot of, I'm not saying don't get into other investments and things like if that's what you want to do. But if you want a product that you can put money into, you will never lose money on the principal, and it can gain at double-digit interest rate, compound interest. If you would like to know more about that for a retirement plan, then give me a call or anyone that's on this platform. We all know it. In fact, all of WFG know it. So if you want to know how to do this, give us a call. Give us a call. 10 million people today on the news are in jeopardy of losing their homes if they don't get a stimulus check. 10 million. The number was back in 2020, it was 40 million people who lost their job or had to go on part-time job. So don't never think that it can't happen. It can happen. It can happen continuously. But the information that we're giving you and the people that use this information and taking advantage of this information did not lose a penny, have not lost a penny in over 100 years in these products. They have not lost any of their money when they're in this product structured correctly. I set in play one each for each grandson and one for myself. One for myself for my kids, my 3 children. I have two daughters and a son. And by the way, my 2 daughters and my sons, one went to Davis, one went to UC Berkeley, and one went to Yale. So my kids are educated, and my grandchildren will be educated, and their children will be educated, because now I know the platform to ensure that if they want an education, they can have the best that money can buy. This is what I know. And I guarantee you, if you give us the time, we can teach you, and for free, no charge. We'll teach you everything that we know. We will teach you. We will not hold anything back. Do you want to retire from your job by default or by your design? It's up to you. If you want to plan your own retirement plan, if you want to retire at the monies that you said you want to retire at and receive so that you can travel the world or do whatever it is that you want to do that requires money, we can show you out. Why do the rich get richer? Because they know how to manage money. They know how to make their money work for them. And they've been doing it for decades. Now it's your turn. The poor do not have to be poor. If you have a job, we can show you how to increase your well-being financially. Because it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much of your money you keep. And that's our mission. And as Sandy was saying, the people that we work with, and a lot of them are multimillionaires, that I know I can call up on the phone personally and say, can you help me with this? Now, all of you that have a job and you're working for someone else, can you call up the owner of the business and say, I'd like to talk to you. I want to talk to you about a raise. I don't think that I'm being treated fairly. Can you do that? You can at WFG. You know why? Because you're the boss. It's your business. And the only limitations on your earning powers is you. I'm finished for the night. I hope that I have given you a few words that you can use. If you find something, if you want to know more, my phone number is right there at the bottom of the screen. Text me, because I read all of my texts. Some phone calls I will miss, but the text I will read and I will get back to you. And that goes for every person that you hear tonight. It's the same thing because we all work for the same company. We've all been trained by the same people, and we all have the same heartfelt compassion to help our community. And with that, good night, folks. And let me introduce the next young lady. Cindy is golden heart. First time I met her, I said, now there's a lady that shows empathy and she shows compassion. And her main drive is she wants to help. She wants to help people. And without further ado, Cindy, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kenneth. You're such an inspiration. I was so into your presentation and everything that you shared. So thank you. And thanks, Sandy, too, for us to be here this evening. I'm going to share as well. And please tell me if I want to make sure my screen is what needs to be on there. I know we're kind of new with this. So please bear with me. Okay. Okay, is that are you guys seeing my first presentation? My
We see you.
the PowerPoint?
Yes, Cynthia.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's all new, kind of using this in a sense. I've been on both sides of the conversation before, and but you know, this time I'm kind of doing my own screen or the PowerPoint. So thanks for your patience. That was great. You know, everybody that's been presenting already. Again, like, my name is Cynthia Yanaconi, and I'm a mom, and I'm a Mama Cynthia. And you can see I have my 2 grandbabies. I'm a community leader. I volunteer. I've worked in nonprofit for a very long time, over 20 years experience. And I'm volunteering now at the Mission Hub. I'm a social worker, also a financial professional. I'm used to going by a financial wellness coach. And I'm here to talk about our children's future plan. And to me, just like everyone, I think our family is really important to us. When I have these conversations with my kids, about what family means to me, that's why I think with even my own experience working at Good Samaritan Family Resource Center, it's all about creating those resources for families. And my daughter, who's there too, she does what I do as well. She's kind of more a little bit shy, but she's doing it, and I really appreciate her. And of course, there's my 2 grandbabies, Elias and Emmy. Emmy's a 7-year-old, and Elias is he's just a year. He's one of the COVID babies. He was born right when COVID happened. And wow, we're just learning a lot. And then I have my family there, my mom and my dad, with my son when he was graduating in the 5th grade. And there goes my nephew as well. And then I have my son when he's graduating from Lowell. And it's just been an exciting thing to talk about our children's future plan, because about a year ago, I had my son do a makeup of a complimentary personal finance review. And I was like, just make it up. Doesn't matter. And we're going to do it. And he's like, okay. And he was open to it. So he put there that he was 26 years old. He was making $20,000 a month. He already had a paid off house. And the thing that got me is that he put that he was giving $5,000 a month to charity. And I just think about when you put these or plant these seeds in children's minds, they think so big. And I was just so proud of him. And, recently, like I said, he just graduated. He'll be going to San Francisco State. And we just recently started his retirement. So it's something I'm really excited, because he's 18. And the 2 biggest factors of creating wealth is time and money. So obviously he's the head of the game. But then I just want to talk a little bit why I'm doing what I do. And I put the Yanakoni legacy, and like Ken was saying, I was like, my book, my book. Because what would the Rockefellers do is the book that I've read and I study, and I have my son actually reading it now, and my grandbabies will eventually read it too. But, it's so important. And the reason is, when my dad passed away, it's already this month, it's 3 years that he's passed away. And he's still so around me, but he didn't have any life insurance, no living trust in place. My mom lost his pension plan along with losing her 401k. So there's just so many things that happen to our family. And when things like that happen, you just got to do what you got to do. And Sandy reached out to me, and that's how I kind of was like, oh my God, realized if anything were to happen to me, I was totally underinsured. And, now I'm proud to say I'm doing a lot. I've done so much, and all for my children. And, I have my dad there because we talked about money, and we had those difficult conversations. And me growing up as a child too would hear the money doesn't grow on trees and I'm broke, and those little messages and beliefs stick to us. And through the years, when he actually passed, I went to a Tony Robbins event. I've learned like wealth mastery, health mastery, just all these things that I've gotten to learn about, to talk about money and break some of those beliefs that I had, and to fast forward like where I'm at now. It's been amazing. And so, and of course we were so family oriented as well. And like I said, my vision after, been doing this, my vision is to break the cycle of poverty and create generational wealth for the Black and Brown communities. And there it is, the book. And, that's why it's so important, because, if you ask yourself, or if anybody ever told you, where do they keep secrets? In books. And we need to make the time to read, books. And like I said, I'm planting the seed for my grandbabies to read this book too, because when wealth is passed on, they need to know what to do with it. And, we all know when people, win the lottery, they're broke the next day, or people who are, famous football players, and then they're claiming bankruptcy the next day. I mean, it's just so, and I just feel what's important is for the children to just really have that experience. And like Sandy had mentioned earlier, their financial literacy isn't taught in schools. And I've had to sit down with a lot of community leaders and, little by little do presentations. But, there's still so much work to do. And, I look forward to continuing to go and grow and to help others, to kind of just see the possibility of everything. So, and that's why I'm just really excited. And I wanted to also, just mention it's a process with everything. And I think everything will fall into place. And one thing I need to mention too is my daughter Sarai. Shouts out to Sarai. It was her birthday yesterday. And shouts out to Stephanie. Her birthday was on Friday. But, she is going to be a senior next year. She turned 17. And I tell my other daughter, like, I'm still 27. She's older than me because she's 30. My other daughter. But, at the end of the day, she tells me she wants to also learn more about what I do. She wants to go to college. Of course, I want to encourage that as well. But, I'm just, like Sandy said, just my family, gets all the information they can share the information. And, I'm just thinking it'll just go like a wildfire, right? Planting the seeds and just getting that education out there, that information, trusting that there is things like Kenneth said earlier, these things have been around for over 100 years, but unfortunately, like we haven't, had the information. And, now that I'm just saying, like, this, my dad is just such a blessing, and I just love him because he's always around me, encouraging me. And so here I am. And then at the end, I really want to say, thank you. And I have a picture of us, John Henry, because I just appreciate, your big heart as well. And you're so open-minded, and, it's just been amazing to be collaborating. And I know, thank you, for like being an ambassador for both sides of the conversation, always connecting our brown folks to the Black folks, and, you know, having them come on and present. And, you know, we're going to continue to work together to do that. And so, again, that's me. And I just wanted to, you know, now go into introducing Musetta, who's going to do an amazing presentation. She has, oh my God, so much to share. And just like all the rays that I have there are multiple streams of income is what she's going to talk about. And I think that you're going to get a lot out of what she has to say. So you go, girl. Go, Musetta. Thanks.
Wow, 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 Cynthia. Thank you so much. So I want you guys to give a hand clap to everybody who has already gone. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Ken. And thank you, Cindy. Cynthia. So I am going to be talking about multiple streams of income. So I want you to give me a minute. And, you know, please type in the chat because we love questions. This is called both sides of the story, both sides of the conversation. And that means we're chatting with one another. We're talking to each other. So I want you to ask me questions, ask Ken questions. Please put in the chat so that at the end, we can answer those questions that you may have. All right, please let me know if you all can see my screen right now. Just say, I got you.
I can't see it yet, Musetta.
Oh, okay, hold on.
There it goes.
Oh, you guys can see it?
Well, we see something.
Does it say income stream abundance?
Not yet.
Oh, but y'all do see something.
Oh, well, it came back now.
Click the share function. I think you're not sharing from you got to share.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, give me a minute. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, am I sharing? Y'all can see me now?
I think Sandy, you're sharing your screen, Sandy. If you want to stop sharing yours and then let Ms. Jones go ahead. You're not. You have to click the share button and then click the share presentation.
Okay. So share screen. I'm clicking share.
Yeah, you have to click it. You should be clicking the share button. Like you'll see the screen and it should be something either says done or submit or something at the bottom. Once you click the right button, it's going to pop up here on the screen. I'll see it, but I don't see it. So you're not sharing.
Hold on for a minute. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Click what?
All right, there you go. I see it now.
Oh, you guys see it? Okay.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
Y'all see it now? Okay.
There it is. Yes.
Yes.
Presentation.
Okay, I got it, baby. Woo! I got this. Oh, yes. All right. So I am doing income stream abundance. My name is Musetta Jones Smith, and I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I am a teacher. I've been teaching for the last 21, maybe 22 years, I think. I've taught at Gloria R. Davis. I've taught at Martin Luther King. I've taught at Thurgood. I'm currently at Burton. I've taught in the Mission at John O'Connell. So I've been around, and I've also been at Galileo and Hoover. So I've been everywhere. So I've been teaching for a long time. And what I found out is that you can't see my screen. Oh, you guys can't see my screen again.
We can see it.
We can see it. We can see it.
Well, what do you guys see?
We see you with your wine.
You sipping on a glass of wine, having a fine good time.
Yes, looking great.
Yes.
Looking good.
So this is me. The reason why I am doing this is my family. So on this first picture, this is my most immediate family. This is everyone that lives with me. This is my youngest daughter who's next to me, and then my husband, my oldest daughter, my youngest son, my oldest son, and then that's my mama. You know, she's the Dawn, okay? And then this is my sister and her family, and this is all of us. And so this is the reason why I started doing multiple streams of income. So as I talk about multiple streams of income, I just want you to know a few things. When I first started, I started out as a teacher. And a lot of times people do things the wrong way. So I know that I needed to have more money. So what did I do? I got a job as a teacher. And then I went ahead and then I got a job as a coach. I coached basketball shortly. I mostly coached softball, volleyball, and track. I had another job. So I started coaching one thing, then I started coaching another thing. And then on the weekends, I did park and rec. So I'm just going to share my story with you. As I did this, I found out that I didn't have time to hang around with my family. And what I just told you guys a few minutes ago was that my family was the reason. And because my family was the reason, I felt that I needed more money. So I got all those different jobs. But then I didn't have time. I was working so much. When I came home, I said my family was the reason. I wasn't a very pleasant person because I gave all of my time and my energy to those jobs. And so when I came home, I didn't have quality time to spend with my family. All I had time to do was hurry up, get them something to eat. Okay, did you get your homework? Get in the bath. Okay, it's time to go to bed. That's not quality time. And then what really got me and it broke my heart, one day my oldest son said to me, "Mommy, I probably really could have been good at sports because I am talented, but I'm not developed, didn't have the opportunity to ever go to any sports teams." We were living in San Francisco and he was in elementary school and we would have to take him to anything that he needed to go to. So he didn't have that opportunity. And that absolutely broke my heart because I was always coaching someone else's children. I didn't have time to do anything for my own. And so at that point, I made a decision. And that decision was, I'm done. I'm not going to work all of those different jobs because it doesn't provide me with the time freedom that I need and that I wanted, because my family was the reason, but that was also the reason that I didn't have time to spend with my number one why. So I didn't coach, I stopped coaching, and I told my children that from here on out, whatever you want to do, I'm here to support you. So I've had the opportunity to go to their basketball games, their football games, dance, anything that they chose to do. So once I made that decision, I know that I still needed money. I still needed to figure out, since I've taken all these things out, I still need some multiple stream of income. So I went and I looked for what you would call jobs or businesses that would allow me freedom that I could do on my own time. I became a notary. I did that for a little while and I really just didn't like it. So I'm searching. I'm still looking for something. And then I did this thing. I became a travel agent, which I am still currently doing. And that one decision for me to let go, it really changed my mind. So when I finally changed my mind and I made a decision to do something different, the money came. I no longer needed to work on multiple jobs because now that I have multiple streams of income, I am a travel professional. I still teach, but I'm also a financial professional. And that mindset changed how money came to me. I got rid of all these things. And so this is how the true family is helping me build generational wealth. Do you see this young child? They started dropping seeds on me. By being a part of this organization and also in my travel company, it changed my associations. It changed my mind. It provided me with leadership opportunity. I want you to know, when I first started in business, I didn't make very much money. I'm just going to be real honest with you. But I continued to go. I never. And so as I continued to go and I continued to learn, they started to water me. That seed, they started planting seeds in me. And as the seeds began to grow, as my mind began to develop, as I began to change, I simply learned many more things. I learned how to save money. I learned how to make money. I learned how to keep money into my pocket. And so what they say to us is the best time to plant a seed was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a seed is now. So as I speak to you today, do you know anyone who's chasing the dream, who has multiple streams of income, who knows that they need something more, they need something different, but it's difficult? I'm talking to you. You have to start somewhere. As we build these different streams of income, you simply begin to grow. And once you start, you have to understand that you are a baby. And it takes time for you to grow. So you are going to stumble, you are going to fall, but what's going to happen is you're going to grow. So being a part of this, I had different associations. I believe Cynthia or Brother Ken or Sandy, one of them mentioned is that they have their CEO's phone number. Well, guess what? In both companies, I'm able to call up my CEO. I'm able to call up Ron Archer. I'm able to call Zach Rance. I'm able to call David McCovey. I'm able to call all these different people, and they're pouring into me. If you're going to follow someone, you got to follow someone who has made it. And because we are following people and individuals that have made it, we all are beginning to grow and our lives are changed. My job that I want to do, my goal is to help change my family's future. And so I've been planting seeds. I plant seeds with my family. I'm planting seeds with my friends. And I'm planting seeds with the students that I teach. What we do, we help people save money, make money, and then grow their money. We offer complimentary financial analysis. When was the last time that somebody sat down with you and helped you really look at what you do? How are you making money? When I first started, I'm going to be honest, it was very difficult for me to just look at to really see where my money is going and if I'm doing the right things. It was very difficult. It took me a while to do my own financial plan. But once I did it, everything changed because now I was educated. And once I got educated, I started making different decisions. So I want to thank John Henry for this platform. I want to thank Sandy. I want to thank Ken. I want to thank Cindy. And I want to thank all of you for getting on our platform this evening. And with that being said, I want to send it back to you, John Henry.
All right, phenomenal presentation. Glad to have you all here. I haven't seen any questions in the comments yet, but you know me, both sides of the conversation. I'm always going to have a conversation with our panelists and ask questions, because a lot of times we have people out there that might be watching that might be nervous and they don't want to ask the question because they feel like if they say the wrong thing, they might get the wrong response or whatever they feel. You know, we are prideful people. We're working every day to break that pride down, and that's why we have these conversations on both sides of the conversation to start opening up and you know, breaking some of the taboo and some of the stigmas when it comes to financial literacy, mental health, and a number of things that impacts our Black and Brown community. So I'm glad to you know, take some of these questions and ask so community can kind of hear some of the things. Now, when you guys are talking about financial freedom and legacy planning, what does that look like for somebody out there who's trying to get started, who may be on a fixed income? How do they start planning, or what steps should they take to start building that financial freedom?
Well, I can start. I mean, I just think it starts with the conversation. I think one of the things that we do is we provide a complimentary financial view to see where they're at. And what I like to always say, it's on a continuum. We're going to begin wherever you're at, and we're going to work within your means and your budget. And because a lot of times, you know, people, there's this new information for people, and, you know, we help with help them understand their financial independence needs number, know what their income protection number is. And that's just so eye-opening within itself. So it just goes and flows at the end of the day of where they're at and what they need. And like for myself, as I share with my grandbabies, people change, families change, and your needs change over time. But anybody else can share too. Thank you.
We lost Miss Jones, but I'm sure she's gonna log back in. I know we lost her. Go ahead, brother.
You know, I just want to say to everyone who says, well, I really don't make enough money. I don't have enough money to invest in anything like that. I'm speaking to those of you who smoke. Now, here's a double situation here that we're going to solve right now. The money that you spend every month on buying cigarettes and smoking, put that into a financial a product that will gain a double-digit interest rate and grow exponentially, and do that for the rest of your life. You have to make a switch. You have to decide in your mind what's important to you and what is it that you want to accomplish. That will make it easy to make that decision. If your kids are important to you, if you're important to yourself, if your health is important to you, if you just want to change the dynamics of your family, we can do that for you. Now, if none of this makes sense to you, then be happy in life and may God be with you. But those of you who feel the need to make a difference, to make a change, not only for yourself, not only for your family, but for all the families around you, this is an opportunity for our communities. This is an opportunity for our communities that really, we were not privy to this information a few years ago. Now it's here and is available to us. Some of us say it sounds too good to be true. Yes, it do, but it's true. Take advantage of it.
Amen.
I'd like to speak on that too. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's not your title at your job. It's not your net worth, because when it comes to finances, there's two types of people at the end of the day. There's the uninformed and there's the informed. So I want to ask you, I want to challenge you, which one are you? Are you the uninformed? Are you the informed? Because I thought for a long time, the doctors, the nurses, the scientists, the moms that are at home, the janitors, you know, you're one or the other when it comes to money. And when it comes down to Cynthia and myself, Muzetta and Kenneth, we spoke a little bit about books. Our company is so different and so unique from a traditional broker is that we can send you free a couple of books today. If you want to put your name and number down and call us, we have 2 books that we can send you complimentary on PDF. The Retirement Miracle by Patrick Kelly, and what's the other one?
Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance.
Right. And it's just really been an eye-opener. And John Henry was real deal when he was like, in our community, we were prideful. Trust me, I did not open up my financials to nobody for a couple of years until I built trust with my brokers, until I built trust with my company business. Like Cindy was sharing, we got to meet people where they were at. And what helped me build that trust was that Zach kept telling me, Sandy, are you that informed person when it comes to money, or are you that uninformed? And I'd be like, well, I'm informed. He's like, well, have you read these 10 books right here? These are 10 of 100 that I have right now on money. And I was like, dang, I don't know. So that was my experience. I hope that brought some light to the question about where do you start? Everybody starts where they're at. And books helped me get to that place when I was comfortable enough to say, here's my portfolio. What can we do to upgrade? So thank you so much, John Henry.
No, definitely. I think this is a very, very important conversation. Right now, if you look at here in California, the wealth gap with community and families, they are in the hole. And like you said earlier, if you look at the retirement gap, seeing our elders of the community retiring and don't have the proper amount of money in there. I think Ken reached on that earlier, really educating the community about how much money they should be putting up into their future and their 401ks, their 401(b)s, talking about those extra streams of income is very, very important. And I think somebody put in the chat, doing a financial analyst is very important, right? We have to know what the problem is. One of the things, we just want to do things a little here, a little there. But definitely community, you want to reach out to one of these professionals here. This is why we bring them to our platform. They look like us. They understand where we come from. They understand the struggles. They've been there. So this is not a time to be ashamed. This is a time to step up and say, hey, I'm tired of being a slave to debt. I'm tired of being a slave to the 9 to 5. I'm tired of being a slave to paycheck. How can I change my financial paradigm? And it starts with professionals like you all here tonight. But I want to take it back to the basics, because I think a lot of times when we talk about financial literacy, we talk about this wealth of leaving generational wealth and legacy. I think we kind of sometimes miss the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s of it. And I think a lot of it is just starting off from the beginning. I always tell people, start off with starting a budget, right? Mm-hmm. Learning where your money is going. A lot of times when I do this work and working with people, 9 times out of 10, these people don't even know where all their money are going, right? So when we sit down and we look at what's going on, we find out we have all of these outside agencies taking money out of their bank accounts that they don't even know about. They got 2 or 3 gym memberships. They have Netflix, all these different services taking money out of their bank, and they're not even knowing where their money is going. And I think we got to just start educating community to the basic steps. One, find out, set up a budget. Find out where your money is first. Where is it going? How much is coming out? And then start figuring out those things that we can remove out of the budget so that you can start getting that financial traction that's needed. Like the brother said earlier, you go into Starbucks. People go to Starbucks and spend $8 to $10, $12, $15 a day. You start adding it up over a week, $300, $400, coming out of your budget that you could be putting up for your financial future. So I think starting there at the basics, getting a budget, understanding where your money go. I tell all the people, once you start knowing where your money is going, you're going to change those habits. As long as you don't know where the money is going, you just spending, swiping. You're not thinking about it. You're not being intentional. A lot of people on vacations, traveling. I've been in the house for COVID, putting themselves further in debt, not really understanding, what they need for their financial planning. So I think that's powerful that you all are talking about this and continue to just keep bringing it to the community. But it starts with the basics. We got to start building this wealth. The biggest slavery in America right now is debt. If you look at the debt, and me and Sandy talked about it, it is outrageous how much debt is in this country. You look in our Black and brown community, sometimes it's 3 to 5 times higher than every other ethnic group. But we still out here buying Birkin bags and red bottoms and Gucci and everything else. But the money in the pockets are not right. So we got to get this right. The only way to really empower the community, and I keep telling them, we have to have economics. We have to have ownership. And that's why this class is very important tonight, to get this information and to have community connect with people. Too many times, all I hear in all of these meetings is education, education, education. We need to educate our people. Tonight, you are getting the education. Are you going to apply it? Are you going to reach out to these phenomenal guests here tonight and try to start putting your stuff into work? Because that's what it's going to take. It's time to start applying this information and start making that headway. So definitely great information. Brother,
I have something to say.
Go ahead, Ms. Ella.
You on mute, Ms. Jones. You on mute. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Touche to everything you just said. I just want to say it starts with the mindset. And so what we provide, just as you said, we sit down with people and it's we sit down and we have them look at their budget. And that's what I was talking about. It took me a while to sit down and look at my own stuff because it's kind of painful. You know, that the money that you owe and the money that you spent is associated with pain. And now you have to face your fears, face your pain. And when I looked at it, that's when I was able to start chipping away. How am I going to pay this debt down? And it just started with that, simply looking at what you're spending your money on and how can you do it better. And then once you do that, that's when we come in. We get your budget together, and then we say, how can we fix some of the, fill some of those holes in the boat? Do you have any life insurance? Have you put any protection on yourself? Because most people protect everything, have insurance on everything but themselves. They have insurance on their cell phones because they deem their cell phones are important. They have insurance on their cars because they deem their cars important. They have insurance on their homes because they deem that important. But guess what? If you take yourself away from the situation, guess what? You can't pay for the cell phone, the car, or the house if you no longer have any income coming in for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My son said, invest in yourself. And that's basically what we all have done. We stepped out of our comfort zone to take an investment in ourselves. And we put an investment in a lot of different things, but I started investing in myself. And it means I did have to spend a little bit of money, but what ended up happening is it changed my life. And so I just want to thank everybody. Retirement. You have to start putting some money away, because if you don't, when it's time to retire, you're going to find out that you're not going to be able to retire.
Yeah.
Right now, when we first sat down, when I first got into the school district, you know, all of a sudden they were taking money out. We never had a conversation. Most people just don't simply know where their money's going. You have a 401k. Do you know how it works? You have a 403b. You have a 450k. You're just placed into those different products, and there's never a conversation of how do they work? How do they suit me? And so that's what our literacy is about, just simply educating you on what you have, how you have it, individualizing it so that you begin to learn what you begin to simply learn what you can do for yourself and how you can benefit from literacy. My goal is to make sure that I'm dropping these seeds on my children so that they too can become entrepreneurs. And if they so choose, they don't have to work for anybody else. And that they pass that down to their children and then their children. So that is exactly what we're here to do. Thank you. And I'm finished. Go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, you know, I want to add on to this also is that time is of essence. What we're talking about is not a get rich quick scheme. It's growing wealth in a time period of time. The younger you are, the greater the gains are. The older you are, you don't have as much time to grow as the young people do. And there's another thing. There's a lot of people who really feel in their hearts and mind, they're thinking they're doing really well. I know of people who have large sums of money in a CD in the bank. The bank pays you less than 1% on your account. The rate of inflation is over 3%. Now, if you're earning 1% and the rate of inflation is 3%, who's losing? Think about that. Learn about compound interest. Start educating yourself how money works. You have to do this if you want to get ahead in life and you want your children to get ahead in life and your grandchildren. You have to start thinking big. And you have to sit down and decide what's your priority. Now, if you want to go out and party and spend your money on big expensive cars and jewelry and all that, well, by all means, if that makes you happy, then do that. But if your family and your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids, if you want 7 generations down the line to increase better and better and better as time goes, then talk to us. A conversation. If you don't agree, if you don't like it, there's no monies involved. We're teaching. We're teaching. If you want to learn, and you have to decide that. We can't make you decide that. But if you're willing to work with us, I guarantee you that we'll show you things that you never heard of and you didn't think was possible. And it is possible. You know, a lot of good-minded people put up a college fund accounts for their children. And we say, why build up a college fund? Build up a future fund for your children. Not just college, for their future. Just imagine if you started out as a baby and put money into an account that's growing at compound interest. And when they get to be 30 years old, usually they say wisdom comes to you when you're 40. But instead of you putting in this account for 30 years, 40 years, and then you decide, you say, I want to start my own business. You can go to that account and borrow the money from your account, take a loan out, and start your own business. You want to buy a home? You can take your money take a loan out of that account and purchase your home or whatever it is you want to purchase. And here's the catch. It's tax-free. If structured correctly, it's tax-free money. Now sit on that and think about that. It's a lot you don't know, but you think you do know. And kudos to you. But there's a lot you don't know. Find out what you don't know.
I guess I'm having a little bit of a brain fart here. I'm in my 40s and I still don't think I have enough wisdom yet. But I'm learning, and I'm glad that you all are here, and community has a safe place to come talk with you all, because I think it's very, very, very important to get this information. I just want to make sure that, you know, anybody that comes on our platform that do you know, investments and things of that nature, just making sure that we educate the community right and we give them the right opportunity, because the last thing we want is for people to finally have that trust opened up and they get, you know, connected with the wrong people that send them down the wrong pathway. And, you know, I talked to Sandy and Cynthia about this. They know how I am. I'm big on my people. I love my people. I don't let nobody come on here playing with my people, right? So when I tell people, when you go see these people, and you're talking about investments, right? You got to make sure, because a lot of times, not you all, but a lot of these corporations out here, they are into selling products. So a lot of time when I'm finding my people going to these different brokerages and everybody's selling them, you know, these umbrella policies, these money markets, and different things of that nature. And I'll be telling my people, I don't want y'all to do that. I want to make sure that 65% of whatever you invest in or more is going to index funded accounts, you know, before you start getting in all these managed accounts, because a lot of times these accounts over time, just service fees will eat up most of your wealth, and we don't want that in our community. When it comes to life insurance, I'm talking about the people I deal with. If you're wealthy and you can deal with these different policies, that's fine. But the people that I'm connected with, sometimes they are already in that financial realm where they only can do so much. So when it comes to life insurance, we want the life insurance that's going to be term life insurance instead of paying for whole policies, because over time those premiums price our people out of the policy, and we got too many GoFundMe's up, right? We in the area, and right now with the surge of gun violence, I am tired of seeing GoFundMe's, people asking for help for funeral services. We need to be educating our community on the proper life insurance, because again, life insurance needs to be in that budget that you're creating. You could get a $1.5 million plan for less than $99 a month. You know, cut out the cable, cut out the cell phone bills, or cut them down to make sure that you have life insurance. And that's just what it is. You know, I got to make sure that my people get the right information, especially in our 401(b)(3)s and 401ks, you know, trying to make sure that people get in these Roths. We want our people to pay the tax now. And I know it looks like, why do it later? I can do the pre-tax. Pay the tax now, so later on you don't get penalized at the high tax point, and it doesn't impact your overall salary for the year. A lot of times when you get to retirement, you want to pay off the house or pay off the car. And sometimes those pre-tax accounts will hit you hard and mess with your Social Security and other funding for our seniors. And they have to pay these, you know, way out of their prices on the money. So definitely we want to get those Roths funded, pay the tax up front so that later on you don't have to get impacted when you're dealing with being on a fixed income and trying to support your family. And then lastly, I want all the community out there is go through your debt process, start paying off your debt, and make sure that you're trying to get to a point where you can put 15% of your gross income into your retirement. See, a lot of times we talk over people about retirement. They hear their company saying, well, we're investing 8% into your retirement, or 12% or 10%, and they think that's enough. If your employer's putting 8 to 10% or 12% into your retirement, you need to be investing 15 of your money, your gross income in there, so that you can have enough equity built up over the time so that you can retire. I am tired of seeing my elders working at Walmart and different places because they didn't properly put up, or they didn't have the proper financial education. And a lot of times it is just misinformation. And I hear it all the time. Oh, the company was putting 8% in there. I thought that's all I needed. So you still have to do the work. Reach out to Sandy, reach out to Ken, reach out to Cynthia, and Miss Jones. I think she fell off again, but we'll try to see if she comes back. But we definitely want to start building up this generational wealth, especially in our Black and brown community. We spend more money than we actually leave in wealth. And it's time to change that paradigm. And it starts with thinking better with money, having the conversations, being open. A lot of times people are embarrassed because they have credit debt and different debt. That's okay. If you put a plan together and stick to it, you could get out of it. It does happen, but it takes discipline, accountability, and management, you know, making sure that you're sticking to your goals. So I'm glad that you all came on to talk about this. This is a very, very important topic in our community. Too many times we are getting placed in government subsidies and trying to do things to make it. Mm-hmm. We need to be thinking ahead of time. Like the brother said, when we talk about college, all of our kids are waiting for scholarships, our athletes waiting for scholarships. As parents of the community, we need to do our part to start 529 accounts. Make sure at the time of birth, we are invested in our children's future. Even if you think that the kid might not be doing so well, you want to have the money there to make sure that they have that opportunity so they're not putting themselves in loan debt. The other groups get it. We are the ones who leave our kids with debt, and it takes them 10 to 12 years to pay off the debt. We have a lot of people in our community still paying off college debt because our families didn't get the right information, didn't prepare properly, and now ultimately these kids, they get stuck with this burden. And these other communities, they prepare, their kids graduate, no debt, they start making $150,000, $200,000 a year, and they able to keep moving that wealth around. And it's just all about information and education. So again, really appreciate you guys.
But those kids come into our community and they're purchasing our homes. those kids. And that's what I really loved about World Financial Group, because I remember in the 90s being in the Mission District, seeing a new type of people coming into my neighborhood when I was living on Bryan and 26th Street. And I knew a little bit from just being around my dad and his friends, like something's not right. And I was in my elders' ears. We need to find out about money. We need, oh, baby, don't worry about it. We got Section 8, because it's always about that mindset. So I'm really grateful that you mentioned about debt and budgeting, and Musetta Jones and I, we're working on that. And the next time we come next month, we're going to go more deeper into debt and budget management. And we're looking forward to sharing that with the community. Again, today was just a message. It was just to share our story so that you can familiarize yourselves that we're just like you. We come from your neighborhood. We all still come, and we break bread still in the neighborhood. So thank you again, Cindy. Thank you, John, Kenneth, and Musetta for hopping on today. But I'm just so blessed. So thank you so much. You fire me up.
Definitely. Let's get it. I can't wait till you guys come back. I want to go through the debt process. I was just reading an article about the GDP and how the GDP is growing, but the wages are not. Very important information. Inflation is going up. This stuff impacts our community. We got to let our community understand how this stuff affects us. When we look at these job numbers, we can't really trust them because they're not going to the previous filing. How this all play in the day-to-day life, I want to break that down, go over the steps, because we got to start getting to a plan where we got these emergency funds, and we got to get out of this debt so we can have 6 to 8 months of our income put away, so that if something happened like COVID, where we out and down, we want to be able to still maintain. We are all in California so close to being one step away from out on these streets. They just put a big report in all of the Black and brown communities. And when you look at that gap of debt and the ability to have financial means to get through 3 to 6 months, that number is very, very small. We have to change that so that we can continue to be sustainable in our community. So very, very important information. Thank you all for coming on tonight, giving these gems, giving this information. I hope the testimonies of all you reach somebody. If it's not Ken, maybe it's Sandy. If it's not Sandy, maybe it's Cynthia. If it's not Cynthia, maybe it's Miss Jones. Find somebody to connect with. We have to have trust in our community. I know it's been over the years so hard to build trust when we talk about mental health and financial, but we are at a headstone. We have to just stop, take a step back, and we got to find somebody that we can trust to open up. It's not a problem until you don't do anything about it. Let's reach out to somebody, get some help, get a plan together. We have to have a financial blueprint if we want to have financial freedom. This debt is keeping us enslaved, and a lot of people are dying behind the stress of having bills to pay. So what a way to find more ways to make money, invest, use the tax breaks, and do what the wealthy do, and be able to maintain a sustainable life. So thank you all for joining tonight. There go Miss Jones coming back. We got her back, but we've been close here to wrapping this up. And again, like I said earlier, the Senate just passed the infrastructure bill. Hopefully the top priority is getting our fiber optics across this country better. We know during this pandemic, our young people were impacted when it came to education, further set the educational gap in our communities, having trouble to log into Zoom school and different things of that nature. The informational gap for our elders and seniors at senior homes, it just, the digital divide is just steady growing. And hopefully with this infrastructure bill, we could get some of these corporations and companies to start getting the Wi-Fi, the necessary data into our communities. Whether you want to be a part of it or you're not, technology is going to be here. It's not going to be going away no time soon. So we definitely want to make sure that we have the right service providers, the right access, so that our community can continue to grow with the rest of the world. And, phenomenal stuff. So thank you all for this conversation tonight. Don't forget this Sunday at 2 p.m. We're going to be having a community conversation with the San Francisco Juvenile Hall staff. We're going to talk to them and have a great conversation. What's going on behind the walls? You're going to hear from some of the great counselors up there that's doing the work. You guys know I go up there. I mentor the youth every week. I know some of these counselors. I know what they do. A lot of times you hear things, but what a way just to hear from them. They are a part of the community. They are working with our young people when they are removed from the community. And it's just good for community to know who they are, what they're doing, and how they're trying to impact our young people and the community. And then next Tuesday, we'll have another segment of our hidden gems. So that should be a phenomenal show with some more of our businesses and some more of our community leaders. And then next Thursday, we're going to have a presentation, an educational Thursday about DACA and educate some of the community of what's going on with the people at the border and how we could get involved and support them, because it is a problem and it's not over with yet as well. And there's a lot of work that we need our Black and brown community to get behind each other, support. So hopefully that educational information will bring us all a little closer with a little bit better understanding and find out how do we get involved. And then everybody here in California, y'all know there's a recall going on with our governor. In September, there's going to be a vote coming out. We got to get ready. You can't sit back and say, I don't want to do it. We got to get through the process because this is very, very important. No matter what side of the aisle you on, get out and vote. And we're going to have some people come on our platform to re-educate our community or educate our community on the civic process and understand what we're voting for and really understand some of the things that we need to do. It starts on a local level before we can impact the national level. We need all community to get involved. It is time to let your voice be heard, regardless of which way you go. But we need our voter numbers to go up. We need our people to have the final say and what's going on. So looking forward to that. And we're going to continue to do our work here at Both Sides of the Conversation. If you have a presentation that you would like to do, this phenomenal group that came on tonight, maybe you say, hey, I got a couple of people in the community. We could come educate our community with some information as well. Please go to our website, book under our Educational Thursdays. And you can come on and do a presentation for our community because this information is priceless for our community. And sometimes these type of courses cost so much money. And I'm just blessed to be a part of them and know that they're coming here to bless our community, give our community some sauce, some information that sometimes we never get in our community. And people say, yeah, people know. I know a lot of people tonight is going to be very important to hear this information as they start working on building their financial legacies. So with that being said, thank you all. I see my brother Rico. He out there watching us tonight. Another good brother fighting for the people, making sure that the people get the information. I'm running for governor 2022. John Henry, both sides of the
Let's do it.
Go ahead and vote for me.
Awesome. You got this.
Well, thank you all for coming on tonight. We really appreciate community. I hope you all take this information in, apply it. It is very hard. And we want to thank all of them for coming on, learning what they're learning, and coming back to give back to the community. It is definitely a blessing. You know, a lot of times people don't appreciate it, but I really appreciate it. You know, to me, this is the compassion, the humility that we need, you know, and we need people like you all that have been through the struggles of it and walked out of it on the other side of it to give people that hope because it's needed in our community. Sometimes we are defeated by so many things that are impacting us. And a lot of times people in our community, as they cram the educational ladder and cram the financial ladder, a lot of times they don't turn their back down to help those in need. So we really have a lot of honor and respect for you all for coming back, reaching a hand down and trying to pull up another generation of young people and get them on the right path of financial freedom. I love you all for that. Keep doing what you're doing. Here at Both Sides of Conversation, we'll continue to support you all on your journey as well. So if you all have any events or any trainings that you all are doing in the community, if you have any digital flyers, please send them over to Both Sides of Conversation and we'll blast them out to the community so that people know where you all at so they can come get some more of this good information that you have. Thank you for your time. Good evening, everybody. We will see you this Sunday for our Sunday conversation. Peace, love, and be safe out there.